Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So the first demo will be pretty quick. It's just to showcase a new tool we made that we call Loop Doctor that allows to answer a simple question. Why did my package undeploy after a portal loop upgrade? So this can happen if there is a breaking change or a bug that was not caught is now caught and stuff like that. So you just open this site, you search for your packages. For example, let's say Leon is searching, and you can see if this one started to undeploy itself. You can see the log and see what happened. And it's just the goal is to only do that. And you can access it at this URL. It's long, but there's a reason why. That's a tool we needed, and we share. And little information, but I just keep it there. I don't want to write it. Is that you can access a portal loop indexer that restart after each commit here. So if you need the portal loop indexer, a public one, you can use this one. But don't write it, please, because it's not made to handle large load. Okay, and the second thing is there is a new Gnopls implementation. So it's an idea of Guillem, G. Fonton. You can go to the repo here and use it pretty fast. On Vim, I don't know, you will need to ask Guillem, but on VS Code, you just have to install the IOMS extension. So if you search for GNO in the extension store, you can find it. You clone this repo. Oops. I'm a bit stressed. You make install. It will install Gnopls and a binary that is used actually by that's Guillem's idea, is that there is a binary that does almost all imports in Gopls that can be overridden. And so we made the GNO implementation, and just by doing that, we have most Gopls features. So there is still some bugs, but let's say I open our territory monorepo. So I will show you the extension to be clear. This one. This is using the new Gnopls automatically because it's in the path. And now we have a really good LSP support, so we can see types into tooltips. We can have auto-completion, for example, even of standard libraries. So this uses your GNO root. Currently, it only supports local package, local examples, and local standard libraries, but we will improve later. And you can have auto-completion. You can do symbol renaming. So this will rename a symbol in another package. This is like usual Gopls things, but for GNO, it's new. And this renamed correctly. And if you look, yep, it didn't cancel here. Well, like I said, there's still some bugs, but I think just for exploring repositories, it's already pretty cool. You get actually a code analysis. So if you like use a variable that doesn't exist, like it will correctly print errors and also warnings. I think it has one there, or maybe it didn't finish analysis yet. Let me see if I have an example of warnings. I guess not. Well, but you can already use it. I put the instruction here, and that's it for me.
Thank you. Next up,
you have any question, Amilash?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have one question for the Loop Doctor, and by the way, both of these they look amazing. The question I had for the Loop Doctor was, what kind of historical data do you actually store, and just how fresh is it? Because you show comparison between loop states for like packages that were deployed previously, but or now not?
No, I thought about doing that, but actually currently it just showed the current deployment, what happened in Genesis. It looks through all at package transaction for all package paths, and for a particular package path, it will store the last error it sees. Or if it shows success,
got
it will show success and stop. But if there is no success, it will show the last error. But it only shows Genesis. Well, you can actually show the last state, but by default it only shows Genesis because it's really we wanted to answer a simple question by default. It's just what happened to my package after the upgrade.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, one more question for the editor showcase. When can we expect to actually use this?
Well, you can use it right now. If you use Vim, you have to ask Guillaume, but you can already use it.
I don't use Vim, I use Emacs, but it's working really, really well in Emacs. I can even add like error that is shared up and with Gopls are working really, really well. Like undefined, like what you show, and other warning. Documentation is working well too. You can point on any reference, it will show the doc automatically. You can find for reference. Renaming is working well on my side, even for really big renaming. I modify, for example, address. Well, I don't remember the exact one, but it showed everything. It was working well. Finding implementation of interface is working well too. Yeah, and I want to, if someone can check on Vim, I'm pretty sure like Morgan can trade.
I'll actually test it out in Z, not Vim, because officially I'm not using Vim anymore.
Oh,
but I mean, I'm using Z with Vim key bindings, of course.
What else?
But yeah, I'll test it out in Z. It has LSP support out of the box.
Nice, perfect. That's it to me. Thank you.
All right. Next up, Dragos with the ZenTasktic project demo.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a short UI demo, which unfortunately doesn't use Vim, but it uses something else. But sometimes, on occasions, I do use Vim. So I would like to showcase how I implemented 2 external packages for managing enriched data in ZenTasktic projects. You may remember how these says decide do areas work, but in the ZenTasktic project, we also have users, schemes, and rewards. Users now uses a local struct that keeps track of the user ID, but under the hood, it also uses the p/users package. Teams also uses a p-zteams package, which the PR is waiting for review. I already added 2 teams right here, and you can see the users that you can check what user is added in each team. Now, I have one task in assess. The second task, I would like to send this task to decide where I can assign the specific task to a team. So you see that I have a task that is waiting for some more metadata to add to. In the previous implementation, we only can add context and due date. I will add a context to this, which is like, let's say we work on this on test 4, and I would like the date of this to be tomorrow. Now, here's the interesting part. You can assign this task now to one of the teams that we previously added and that are using the p/zteams package. Now you can see that the task is assigned to a team. Interestingly, a task can be assigned to multiple teams. We can have first team and second team, and we can also assign some sort of reward, which for now, let's say it's 1,000 not, but we can also use different types of tokens. Once we added everything to this task, it's not longer in this tab because it's ready to do. Everything is in green. The due date is not in the past. Let's say we want to add also 100 flip to this. And now you can see this task is assigned to 2 teams and the reward is 1,000 knot and 1,000 flip. If I send this task to do, it will disappear from here and it will be visible here. Now we have 2 tasks due tomorrow. The interesting thing that I want to work on from now on is that when I click this, a number of things will happen. First of all, the task will be marked as done, and both first team and second team would not see that task, and the reward would be distributed. There will be actual tokens sent to those teams. Now, how we do the split and the whole reward split is not part of this demo, but yeah, that was pretty much everything I wanted to showcase.
Thank you, Dragos. Any questions?
One more thing, this is not yet deployed. I'm waiting for the PR to be merged. So the UI that you see is only on my local dev. Once the PR is merged, I can deploy and test for, and I also deploy the UI and GNO's and ZenTasktic comps so everybody can check it out.
All right, thank you, Dragos. In the interest of time, we'll move forward. We have a lot of demos. So Varmeta is next with the GNO domain name service.
Okay, can I share my screen?
Sure, go ahead.
Let me see. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. In this demo, I'm not focusing on naming service, but I'm focusing on the still bidding format that we separate the function into 2 phases. One phase is committing the hash string, and one phase is committing the price and the secret string. Let's say you want to you want to bid some objects. Let's say in this demo is a domain name. Let's say you want gno.text.gno. And we see it is free, so we commit our script. I'm sorry, we not commit our script, but we need to calculate the hash string. So let's say test script, and you want 100 rows. Sorry. Let's say here, this. Okay. And you commit the generated hash into a chain in order to like secure the price that no one can see the price. Okay, so the status now is committed hash, and you wait for about like 40 seconds, a period of time to the next step, and yeah, let's wait. And in the time we're waiting, I want to say that we are focusing on a shield bidding format, and we are doing a shield bidding package in order to support the bidding option that you want to hide the price and no one can see the price at the end. Let's say now the status is waiting the price, and now you commit. Let's say that's 100. In this phase, you commit the price into a chain. After the commit hash phase is done, commit price success. um, look like some bug. The known bug we know with the status of this say that undefined. But after you commit, you can claim your object, and easy demo of the object is domain name, and you can claim it. And yeah, the mainly thing I want to focus on the demo is the seal bidding package that we are currently developing, and all the question about the seal bidding format are welcome. I want to hear the voice about the idea about the seal bidding package that I will make a PR later. And yeah, that is the current status of Bimeta. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, we're going to the next demo. Antonio, I believe this is you, the TX indexer filter API.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Not the best sound, but we can clearly understand you.
Okay. Let me. Okay, I will share my screen.
We can see your screen, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? I know
Yes.
what's happening with the mic.
Now we can.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying that I want to show you the new functionality that is like a new filter API system for the GraphQL interface on the indexer. So basically, you can filter any like 99% of the fields on transactions and blocks. So I want to show you some of the functionality that are possible now with this new API that wasn't possible before. One of them, as you can see here, you can use regular expressions to filter by the content of files inside realms or packages. So yeah, so you can go here and see all the packages that contains this import, and also yeah, we can change this to any other package, and then yeah, we can see all the transactions that contains this import, and that's something that wasn't possible before. And you can use this regular expression pattern on any string, on any field. So yeah, let's go to the next example. Yeah, as you can see here, you can make like super complex filters. Here we have like a filter system that is like giving us a range of blocks from this ID to this one, and also including the 200 one. So if we do this, then we can like use ranges with equality and like removing a specific block by the height or any kind of filter that you can think about. And the last one is basically showing you like how to join different filters. Like you can use like success, that's a Boolean. So you can like use equality for Booleans, and then you can go and filter by message values, for message call specific value, for the function type register, and with the package path demo users. So you can go here, and right now we executed 2 different queries, one of them with failed like register calls. So we can see here all the users tried to register but wasn't successful. And if we move here, so we can see like all the success, like Norman with a cat here as a description. And yeah, another thing that is always I think is important too. I want to document the how to say that, like I want to self-document the applications. So now when you go to the GraphQL interface, you will have these examples at the beginning. So you will be able to start right away, like exploring the new filter system. You will have these examples, so you can modify them and start like doing whatever you want and exploring the API. And also, yeah, of course, apart from the standard documentation that you can go here and see all the filters that you have, like and you can go and see the different ways that you can filter different things. So any comment is welcome, and yeah, that's everything from my side.
Any questions?
There's no excuse for us anymore to say we don't have the tools to analyze the blockchain, because Antonio just built the tools.
Props to
Yeah, one thing to add is in experimental phase. So if you find any bug, will be nice if you can report them on the TX index repository, and I will fix as soon as possible. And also, if you are interested, this is a plugin I created with all the logic inside, with all the code generation for automatically generate all the filters based on the GraphQL schema. So yeah, just if you are curious and you want to have a look into it.
Thank you, Antonio. Next up, over to Dongwon from Unblock. They introduced support for multi-mnemonics. Dongwon, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This new version includes the support for multi-mnemonic. So previously, Adena only supported one seed phrase per Adena, which means you couldn't add an account with a new seed phrase if you've already had your seed phrase in your Adena. But yeah, now you can add an account with a new seed phrase. So in this account, in this Adena, I only have one seed phrase with 2 accounts, and yeah, here I can add a new mnemonic, and you'll see the select account session where you can select your account to add. You can actually load more, and yeah, if you see Adena, now the 4 accounts are being added, and now I have 6 accounts. And when you have multi-mnemonic in your Adena, and you're trying to add an account, then you'll see this page where you can select your seed phrase where your new account will be derived from. Yeah, this is going to be a handy tool for users who use multi-mnemonics for their use of accounts. Yeah, this feature hasn't been released yet. We are waiting for the core team's review. Yeah, that's it.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
My next feature request is interchanging keys between gnokey and Adena. But yeah, no joke. Like, this was actually a feature that I was looking to use, I think, last month, and I couldn't use it because no wallet actually implements something like this, as far as I know.
I saw a thumbs up from Dong1, so that's settled.
Yeah, I think we have an open issue in Adena about that, right?
All right, in the interest of time, I'm going to move us along. Birdie's up next with the demo of gnokey mobile. Jeff, are you the...
It's going to be Yuri.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so just before that, just one thing to say that ours is not as pretty as Adena's, right? So please bear with us. I was having a little jealousy crisis when I saw Adena. So, yeah, we're right there behind you.
Yeah, we already started work with Alexa to see if we can improve the UI. This is the basic flow that you're gonna see. We have this social, that's app that posting on the blockchain messages like Twitter. We have gnokey, another app that is managed keys. And now, before post a message, the social is gonna ask gnokey for a key and to select a key on gnokey. Then this social make the call transaction with this select key. Then he asks gnokey to sign for this transaction, and gnokey will return this signed transaction. And here in the last call, he will broadcast the transaction. Yes, do you have questions? Sorry.
Yeah. Can you go back to the... So at the top where it says, give me a key, that's a little misleading. It really give me an account address. The only thing that the thing that goes back from gnokey mobile to dsocial is not the whole key info. It's just the account address. And then each time that dsocial wants to ask gnokey mobile to sign something, it just gives the account address. So the keys themselves are not moved between these apps.
Exactly. And we have a couple of situations here. We can have apps sleeping or closed, and we could have app running. If it's running, we could use the gRPC that's on here and avoid some extra efforts. But let's show the worst scenario that is passing data through linking, like URL. So if I want to post right now, 6031 for me. So the first key, so the first key is just this first step to pass the address. So this social make the transaction, call the transaction, right, with this address. Now he send again to gnokey to sign the key. So I will select the same key, but this flow will be improved because if I selected the key in the first step, I don't need to select it again because it's obviously that needs to be the second one. And so here it's already received this transaction signed and then broadcast the transaction. Why I'm not seeing my post? Because here on the social, I have a key. I have this user, but I used another one on gnokey to sign this transaction. This one. That's why. So basically, I'm posting using one account, but who signed it will be the one that will belongs the message. So if I search here for iOS 9, 30, 81. This is using the indexer that Remy created. And here I see the post on his board message. Don't mind about Patuzawa, this is incorrect, it's a bug, but this is correct. A lot of flows here that we want to improve. We don't need to wake up 2 times. Like I said, we could use the gRPC if those apps are running on background. Yeah, and we want to improve a lot the UI UX, and yeah, on it. Constant, Jeff, if you want to complement.
Yeah, like Manfred said in the chat, sub accounts will be the thing which improves this workflow a lot. And we're going to be neck deep in using sub accounts on this project.
Yeah, so this was just we wanted to give you like a super raw under the hood view that this is happening. So we are working, pushing towards it, and yeah, we're going to try to constantly show you things, even if it's depressing to go after Adena on stage. But yeah, kudos to them.
It's not a competition. Any questions for the birdie team? If not, we have our last demo. Oh, Milos, go on.
What is the battery usage on this kind of communication if you're running it on a phone?
Good question. We didn't measure that. Most of this is inter-app communication, right? So it's not much. And the only time, well, it talks to the blockchain twice, right? To sign, you ask the blockchain what's the next sequence number, and then you just broadcast the transaction. So, but you know, the idea is this is, you know, you keep processing local, right? Use pagination. We have thought about it. We just haven't measured the. Maybe because I just assumed it wasn't going to be a big problem, but you're right. That should be a next thing to measure. See if we can do something that makes the battery run down.
For reference, I've used apps that made my phone battery died while it was plugged in charging.
Yeah.
So
yeah. As we keep saying, this bundles the actual Go code from the mono repo, and so it's running Go underneath. All the key operations are the exact same ones that happen in the same code when you run the gnokey command line. Yes, Jay?
Hey, I actually have a question for about Adena and multi-accounts. If now's a good time.
Go ahead, sure.
Thanks. The concern I have is if it's a feature that's only available when you enter the mnemonic into the extension, is it maybe unduly incentivizing users to create accounts where the passphrase, the mnemonic, is entered into the extension, which is arguably a lot. Well, it is less secure than using like a ledger or any hardware, right? So that's one question. Maybe the follow-up is, would it be possible to associate each of the accounts that are created with multi-accounts by entering the mnemonic in the extension, making them sub-accounts of each different hardware devices? Maybe that mitigates the problem. Maybe there's a third question before that, which is, would it be possible to use a single like ledger device and create multiple accounts by having like the ledger app sign with different HD derivation paths. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, so like Manfred said, this all sounds like a job for sub-accounts. Especially, yeah. So I'm just repeating what Manfred said in chat a little while ago, right after the Adena demo. Maybe he wants to chime in. No, Manfred can't chime in, but I'm just underscoring what Manfred put in the chat.
Okay, thank you. What does it mean to prevent account transfer from gnokey to Adena? Prevent account transfer. I didn't catch that.
Scroll down to the bottom. Manfred followed up.
Okay, thank you.
Just for the record, sub-account and account session are two different names for the same thing. In case people have heard us talking about account sessions, it's the same functionality.
Okay, so even if sorry if I'm running into someone's time, but no, that was a lot demo. Even if we have ledgers be able to create sub accounts easily in Adena, I'm wondering if the ability to create multiple accounts, like we saw in the demo, that's slightly different, right? Because you can create like 100 accounts, but nothing about creating sub accounts from a ledger account necessarily implies being able to create 100 accounts at once. Wouldn't that incentivize users to opt to not use a hardware device because they need the feature of creating 100 accounts? That's the question, isn't it?
I assume Manfred's thumbs are flying at light speed on his mobile right now.
I guess this is food for thought.
Yeah, it should be food for thought for as we, come up with a spec for the account session functionality.
Meanwhile, we have 19 minutes left, so we have one more demo and 2 discussions. So Zuma, do you want to show us?
Yeah, well, I'll be short. It's a very, very small project and just a more fun thing, I would say. Even if it could be useful for the research and to have more ideas for ancient stuff. So basically, it's called Gnolove, and the goal was just to experiment a new way to display activity on GitHub and have a kind of fun to motivate contributors, etc. So the goal is to both highlight important labels or new PR, etc., and also identify contributors and motivate them. So at the moment, the equation behind this is not really accurate. It's quite basic, but we could imagine later improvements and discuss it in the long run. It's just a way to identify how we can make it better on chain, since right now it's fully centralized and just a quick game for all of us to have fun. But also it can be a way to just have access to PR issues, etc., in a different way. So feel free to give feedback and everything. For the moment, it's quite all the time Morgan winning. So let's find other people to be top one. Yeah. I share the
Yeah,
URL.
actually, I wanted to report a bug, which is that I'm not at the top for the weekly leaderboard. So you'll have to fix that.
Okay, I will. Maybe just a fun thing I thought, it's just an idea, but I was thinking of an idea to offer some goodies. So I just started something just for fun, which could be like kind of goodies that could be for winners every month. And we could have a kind of designers contribution. So goodies could be also done by the community. Yeah, so it's just an idea, but the goal is to make people aware of those contributors and yeah, and motivate everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Zuma. Switching over to discussions. So the Birdie team shared one bug that they found. I wasn't entirely sure if this is up for discussion or you just raised it. So could you just explain?
Yeah.
A bit?
You want to click on that, or I can share screen and point at things. Yeah. So this is the pager, which allows the browsing through an AVL tree by paging through it, and it's this pull request includes demonstrating it in our demo users. So the main page, you know, if there are a lot of users in there, then you can page through, and this uses the render function. And if you scroll down to the comment, it's relying on the query string in the URL. The query string is the thing that comes after the question mark. So like question mark page equals 2. The problem is that is not passed to render. And so this doesn't work if you're using it through render. There's two solutions. One, is it Geronimo? Suggested changing GNO-web so that it does pass the query string to render. The other one is to use some other part of the URL which currently does go into render. And rely on that. The code right now is in the AVL pager relies on the URL expecting the question mark in there. So that's the problem.
All right, and going into Hieronymo's link, we actually see this PR, which is currently in draft. But I expect he'll be working on some sort of solution for this. So I figured maybe we can just wait and see what his proposal is, and then we can maybe discuss if there's a better option.
Okay. The question is, does anybody think there could be a problem with GNO-web passing the entire URL, including the question mark, into render? If nobody can think of anything, then this is a good way forward.
I mean, the current the things I can think of at the top of my head. Well, this is backward incompatible, quote unquote. So obviously, like if a realm gets a question mark, they won't, and they don't expect it, they won't be able to handle it directly. But that may be okay. The other
I think
thing,
this PR already has a hack to handle the. Right now, we are using the query string part for the help page, and I think go ahead. I'm agreeing with you. There might be some this could break some things. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah. And aside from that, might break some stuff. There's also, I see, like with the query string, one thing that we got to consider is that at this point it enables like the flow of I have like a form, an HTML form, and I put it like with the get parameters on the URL of the realm path I want, and at that point the sort of the vendor function will show it, right? Will sorry, I'm losing track of my thought there. Yeah, I mean this is a flow that we would start supporting, that you have like forms which submit to realm pages, which may be good or maybe something we don't necessarily want. The last and third thing I can think of is that we have already some cases where we sort of, like, say you have this on the root page, right? The empty string. When you're not passing a path, you don't need to specify the colon. So in that case, the sort of, if you pass like say /boards question mark something, then should that be passed as a question mark something to the realm, like as its path, and also to consider that there we have like a competing behavior, which is for what we have for the help page, which is instead what you have when you have question mark help on that same page. So yeah,
another crazy possible solution is, which would break a bunch of things, is render takes two arguments. One is the stuff before the question mark, and the other one is the stuff after. That's probably a bad idea.
But yeah, I can see what that comes from, right? You want like reusing what we have for HTTP for like what is passed into the realm, and that can make sense.
Just to call out Manfred's comment that we won't have forms that are managed by contracts. Go ahead, Jay.
It's a question about what was mentioned. Will there be a question mark help? Or is there already?
Would you say?
You mentioned like question mark help. That sounds like a help page.
Yeah, it's the realm help page. The like our boards. Sorry, our demo boards. Yeah, which has all the forms to create a gnokey comment, right?
Yeah, I guess wasn't that like a help page before, or was it always a question mark?
It's integrated. Let me give a more fancy example. Like let me pull one up real quick. I'm on Gnoland here. Our demo users. Our demo boards.
Oh yeah, it's integrated like into
Yeah.
the router of the web, of the GNO web itself. Yeah.
So you can get a. Let me paste this in here. It should work for everybody. A lot of stuff can happen after the question mark. So
interesting.
And yeah, GNO web intercepts this, I assume, and this will not. This URL will not go into the render function of the realm.
Right. Wonder maybe it makes sense for the help page to be like Gnoland /help/r/demo/boards, right? Maybe like there's a singular help page URL root, maybe to remove the ambiguity. Just spitballing here.
Yeah, I guess this comes back to also like a few things. We want to. I think we eventually want to have on GNOWeb. We want to have. We want to have GNOdoc, so showing the documentation to use GNO packages and realms within other code, with their comments and parameters and everything. And I think for the GNOdoc of realms, together with that, we want to integrate what is the current functionality of the help page. So whenever you want to see the GNOdoc of a realm, aside from seeing the comments and the function signature, you can also compose the function and get a build, like build a comment to run a gnokey. And then on top of that, like the other thing which I'd like to have for GNOdoc is to show standard libraries documentation directly on the GNOWeb. So I'm curious, on how these should have what path these should have.
What if instead of a question mark, which implies it's an argument being passed into the realm, which it's not, maybe we just need a different symbol, like not pound, obviously that's got different syntactic significance. It's like less, it's not even something that should be sent to the server, but like it could be like % or some other symbol besides a question mark, which means it's like something more part of the path. So GNOWeb could still intercept it, but it's clearly not like an argument, like a query argument. That would remove the ambiguity.
The pound sign is for the bookmark. Like if you're on a Wikipedia page and it's bookmark history or something, and it jumps to that part of the page.
Yeah, but the pound, the problem with that is I don't think the pound part, I'm not sure the pound part is sent to the server. Right? I think that's all done client side. So something like that, but not the pound symbol. So the % symbol or $ symbol, right? Or @ we'll have to take a look at the URL spec for what characters would fit the criterion, but any of these symbols presumably can be specially intercepted, because the only way you can use it is followed by help. So for example, if it's % help, then GNOWeb can intercept all of those, and that's fine because there's nothing else that can follow a % besides help. Right? It's not a valid Go or GNO path symbol.
Do you see Manfred's comments in the chat?
No. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we should reserve for future versioning. So maybe it's like the $. Depends on the URL spec. We should take a look at that.
Yeah, % of course is for escaping characters, so maybe $1.
But so what if we just have /help and then the path?
Yeah, Jay, look up a couple more. Manfred had a bunch of examples, earlier messages.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, help as a prefix, not as a suffix. Yeah, that's right, Manfred.
Yeah, that's what Manfred. That's what Morgan was saying. Yeah. I guess I mean, that could work. Oh, actually, another one would be just H, right? Maybe that's better.
Or
No,
doc.
then that's ambiguous, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Or doc. It's only 3 letters. So what is the way forward here? I mean, who do we want to discuss this on the PR for this pagination thing?
Maybe not. Maybe it's a separate PR. But maybe we can. Are we in agreement that we want to change the question mark help in order to disambiguate?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to have everything that is just prefixed with Gnoland/r/demo/boards be controlled by that realm.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless it's a sub-realm, of course, but yeah.
Well, maybe it's not a realm. It's just something special.
What we're talking about, yeah, is to change question mark for rounds, right?
Yeah, while you were off, I think we're agreeing that, like your examples above, Manfred, having a /doc or /help, something, a different path for showing the help pages, and then once that's done and it's not using the question mark, then we'll pass the whole URI with the question mark to render.
It's nice to have like something that, like a suffix though, because I guess what's nice is it's just easier to use because when you're already here, it's just slightly easier to just add something. So it could be like boards. Right. What does it mean to keep for contracts? You mean keep it as strictly for parameters?
Like used by the render function, I think. Like readable by the render function.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting too, is to disambiguate. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
So, okay. Well, either way, I guess arguably it's easy to change. So we could go with, right? Arguably we can go with like yeah, we can do the $, or we can do like the prefix. And either way, we should be able to switch it around if we decide to change it, right? Because it's just a special set. Yeah.
But for the PR at hand, I'd say we go in the direction that yes, we can have pagination with the question mark and it's passed in. One question that I have, I guess, for the long term is also whether we want to keep the colon syntax to pass things into rounds, like as the path. Should we have something to separate the path and the query? What should we do there?
Sorry, what was that again?
Like, should we have should we, like right now we have, so the colon syntax, which then has the path, and my current understanding is that proposal would be for this to be contain both the path and the query. So should it be jumbled up together? Should we just use the query, or should we maybe have, like, for instance, path and query as separate arguments for the round to parse?
Oh. Oh, like changing the signature of the render function?
Yeah, maybe to like accept a map string of parameters.
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I guess that question is kind of equivalent to how opinionated do we want to be? And if we're going to be opinionated about it, then I guess the benefit is there's some efficiency, because there's less that needs to be done in the VM. And maybe there are other ways besides through the URL that people want to pass these things. I guess the alternative is just generally the simplicity of having a single string. I don't know the answer. Jeff says, example with the colon, render only gets testboard 1.1. As opposed to what?
Well, that's how it works right now, right? Render gets path, but it's the render function for the realm. So it doesn't need the entire, it doesn't get the entire URL. It render only gets the things after the colon.
Right.
That's how it works right now. I'm just clarifying how it works right now.
Yeah. Right. And Manfred is clarifying with the question mark. That. Wait, what is going on with the first one? Oh yeah. The first one is a path of nothing with question mark foo. Yeah. So the question, I think, so the main question is: do we want GNOWeb to parse the parameters before they're sent to the render function, or do we want to give the render function more control? Are there two questions here? One regarding forms. That's another question. I don't know.
No, I don't think we want forms. It's just that forms at this point becomes, by virtue of accepting question marks as part of the path passed into render, then, not necessarily within GNOWeb, but we could have an external website which has a form, and where the sort of form action get URL, the render of a realm, and then have it pass in data essentially. But that could be fine. Yeah, I think I agree with the current signature, and with the thing is that we can still pass the current signature probably into the URL package, like net/URL, or find some way to adapt it anyway, so that it can parse the query elegantly.
I feel like we might, if it's only for rendering, then it's only for displaying. Then maybe it's better to keep it as a single string. That way there's maybe there's less conversion between all the places where you would want to insert that link. It's just one string, and it's maybe simpler to do that rather than having people like construct the URL themselves every time. I'm not expressing that well.
Yeah, as far as construction, a function of the current PR for pdemo AVL pager, one of the functions in the pager, manipulates the string, right? If you want to go to page 3, then it'll manipulate the URL. So now it says page equals 3. And yeah, so that's an example of kind of like you have your own realm doing its own thing, and then there's a kind of a standard way of adding extra stuff which the pager is using and manipulating that part of the URL. Manfred's thumbs are flying around.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure either, but my gut tells me it's fine to keep it as a string, and we can write, like Manfred said, good parsing libs. If the parsing libs were native Go functions, they could even be fast, arguably. So maybe speed is not even an issue.
Yeah, this render right now doesn't consume gas, so it's not that's probably a good thing. In other words, if there won't be variability in terms of whether it's GNO code or Go code.
Yeah, I feel like maybe another way to express what I was trying to get at, maybe another thing to mention is by having it just be a single string, maybe it's easier for like non-developers using the website to just fiddle with that single string. I don't know. I guess that's a dumb point. I mean, just having a single string is closer to a URL, so that's arguably better. It's closer to something that users understand, although users don't understand URL encoding. So maybe that's a counterpoint. Anyways, maybe we should just keep it until someone proves to us that we should change it.
Just a reminder that we are 11 minutes over time. Who would like to summarize this in a PR? Do we have a volunteer?
Well, if we're not going to use the question mark query string part of it, then the current PR needs to be changed, right? The way that it.
My understanding is that we are. No, was that not the consensus? Okay.
Yeah, we can keep that, and then there has to be a different PR to change GNO.web to pass it in.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what Geronimo has already done for the PR, and I think essentially it's good to go. So if you want to comment on Geronimo's PR, just to keep a paper trail that we kind of discussed this on the contributor, I mean, not contributor anymore, discussions call, whatever you want to call it. Then yeah, go ahead and put that in. So just we have a paper trail for that.
Here, what I agree with what Manfred said. Let's use the $ for GNO-web params like help. Yeah, but that should be its own PR, standalone PR to change everything, because it will be big. It's where it's not PHP. So maybe the PR is fine as is. We just need another PR to change the help page. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we can start passing it in. There will probably be a bug with the help, but we can tackle like, you know, moving like web functionalities, including help with, you know, the plans for GNOWeb v2. If Guillem or Leon want to sort of note that down for the GNOWeb v2 issues.
You want what with GNOWeb 2? You want to create an issue on it?
To switch from using essentially like question mark help, or like to access like special like GNOWeb specific functionality of the realm, to to using like the $sign or whatever other sign, but not the question mark, which instead should be passed into the realm.
Yeah. To pass it as query. Okay, I get it. Yeah, sure.
Guillem, in the chat, Geronimo already started a draft PR to start changing GNOWeb, so we should probably use that.
Yeah, definitely. But
and the same PR probably would have to change the way help works, right?
No, but it's fine. That I'm gonna check, give a look at this pull request on take some ID to apply directly on GNOWeb 2. Definitely.
Manfred's PR was 2584. It's linked to the one that I just mentioned.
This is good. Actually, I've added a long time ago the stdlib.net just to use net.url parsing, and it was already working great with the paths only, but it should work also perfectly with adding like query, and it's really easy after that to use. So honestly, like it should be fine to add what Geronimo had. Simply use this library for now, except if you find like some performance issue, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine. Like, just to use like the GNO stdlib.net to parse the path URL plus query should be fine.
You want to wrap it up, Nemanja?
Yep. Thank you all for coming. It was an eventful first meeting of this new format. The remaining topics that we haven't covered, we'll just tackle them asynchronously outside of this call. So thank you all for coming and have a great day.